What's up, guys? Hello, it's Squirrel, and this is my dog. Hello, boy. This is Doyle, enjoying the sunshine. He's a fun dog, nice character, but that's not what I wanted to show you. This is what I wanted to show you. Not really. Inside is my games room. This is a garage which I had converted. We weren't using the garage very much, just dropping junk in there, and I had to get out of the bedroom in order to make way for my children so that they could all have their own room each. So I converted the garage, and I should just give you a quick sort of show you what's coming. All very exciting stuff. I'm going to take you through this whole thing, show you where I play, record. This is detached from the house, so I get quite a lot of privacy. There's a reasonable amount of junk in here, I have to warn you, although it's a lot tidier than it normally is. So there we have my guitar, which I strum along every now and again. A PC which I need to resurrect, some more crisps, a bit of junk for eBay, toolbox. 3 statues on my window. You'll see a few things kicking around. These statues, I like fantasy art stuff. That one in the middle I had to import from America. I got it for my birthday. It's quite high, it's about 12 inches tall. Fantastic piece of work, that one. And in the corner you've got my bass guitar and a ukulele, which is a friend's, bit of Captain Morgan's, which we all like, some books and some more junk. In the fridge, this is a double fridge, this is a fridge freezer actually, supplementary to the one in the house. It's just got cider in it and various things. Laser printer, filing cabinet, all very boring. Now then, this is the storage side. First of all, just to run through these lights here. There's 5 of these lights scattered around. They're all adjustable, switchable on here, so I can turn them all on and off individually, point them up. I like reflective light. I don't like overhead or direct light. I like it to sort of diffuse out over the ceiling, hence why I picked those. Now this is where I keep all my filing, discs, games, letters, envelopes, all kinds of stuff in here. On the right here we've got, as you can see, we've got a squirrel in the middle, of course, and flanked by 2 monkeys. If you're familiar with the PG Tips monkey, if not, go and look on YouTube, very funny. When you've got kids, they tend to buy things which you laugh at, so if you find yourself laughing at PG Tips monkeys, the next thing you know, you've got one for Father's Day. I do like them. I mean, they sort of cheer the place up a bit as well. This is my microphone, as you can see on the stand with the pop cap. That's a Behringer C1U, very high quality microphone, and not too expensive if you want to get into this kind of thing. That is it's a 3D print of Isama, as you can see there, which is my Night Elf Resto Druid character from my World of Warcraft days, when I used to play quite a bit. Magazines and stuff. Going down the right hand side here we have the radiator, which I use to keep off the chill over winter, which we're just kind of finishing now. We've got, what have we got? Hard drive, Kindle, that I'll come to in a second. That's my new headset, various mobile phones and bits of junk. This is quite cool. This is I keep my hard disks in these cases, which keep them pretty well protected. If I just get the cover off, as you can see, this is a game footage one. That's a 1.5 terabyte hard drive, SATA hard drive, which goes into this little thing, which is a USB and a power supply. It's an external SATA connector. You just drop it in there. Lets you dump all your game footage onto external drives so that you don't clog up your machine with very large amounts of recorded footage, so that you can use it later. Up on top there is that's an aircon unit. It's an inverter, not actually an aircon unit. It's technically called an inverter. This is the control for it here. You just set the temperature, you can set the direction of the airflow, all that kind of thing. It keeps this room usable, especially in summer when it can get warm in here. Very well insulated walls. I mean, you know, behind this drywall is sort of 6-inch thick polystyrene, and then an outer brick wall, so it's very well insulated in here. So that thing doesn't have to do a lot of work, but it is a very efficient exchanger. It exchanges hot and cold, so it can cool the room down and heat it up, but it doesn't work terribly well under sub-zero temperatures, because when it tries to extract heat from the outside, it tends to get ice on the radiator blades, so then it doesn't work very efficiently. So I leave it off in the coldest times and just put that on instead, which does the job. Now over to the left hand side, what we've got here, we've got the Sony 32-inch flat screens. We've got 2 of them. The one on the left is connected to the PC, which I'll come to in a minute. That's underneath. It's also got a PS3 on it and my friend's Hopage HD PVR. That's my headset, keyboard, mouse. In the middle here are 2 the subwoofers. You can see the speakers for each. There's one set over here and one set over here, driven by the 2 televisions. PS3 chargers. You've got Sackboy, if you must know Sackboy, an atomic clock, and a couple of sheep. Don't ask why. Mint humbugs. I like mint humbugs. And my MacBook Pro, which I'll put on while I'm gaming. You know, in between games, I can look at websites. I can run Skype or TeamSpeak, anything like that. Telephone, which I'll show how that's connected, and another PS3 and an Xbox. So when I'm playing on console, I play on this screen, on this side over here, with that screen up normally. And when I play on PC, I'll be over here playing on this computer, and this is where I do all my video editing. So if I just show you underneath the desk, this is where we get down and dirty now. As you can see, it's all nice and tidy. I've got it reasonably well cabled up. But if we drop down underneath, you'll start to see where all the cabling really is. Now then, as you can see, I got from a place in Cambridge in the UK. They do these wonderful cable organising stuff, which are these things here. They're componentized, so you can make them as long as you want, and you can build them up, and they'll run all your cabling underneath your desk or down from your desk to the floor, which was ideal for what I wanted. That's the electric switch box, not very exciting, and that is the network switch. That's a 1 gigabit network switch. There's 8 ports on the back of that. One of the ports runs into the house and is connected to another one of those, and that then routes around the house, which has got a LAN inside the house, and also onto the internet router, which goes off onto the internet. So all the the PC and all the PS3s and stuff, they all cable into the back of this thing, then run into the house to another one of those, and then out onto the internet. So the whole house and this building is all 1 gigabit land. Over here, this is the network points. There's 5 of these points around, so there's 10 points, but I can obviously only take 7 in the back of here because I'm using 1. So they're not all active, but I can only afford an 8 port switch at the time. And as you can see, I've got a filtered power supply, and all the cabling is trunked underneath the desk and down. So no cables on the floor, alright? No cables on the floor, it's all hidden under here. So I was quite proud of that. It took me a while to design it all. I had to design the whole layout of this place and get the electricians in and get it all built to my spec. So I had to really think about this place. So I was quite happy with the end result. Now let's take a look at the PC. This is my PC. It's quite a nice design case. I'll show you in a second why. On top is my Hopage HD PVR, which I used to record from PS3 or Xbox. It's currently wired up for the PS3. This is the Xbox connection, so this goes to the Xbox output, component output. So when I want to record on Xbox, I swap out the PS3 cables and put the Xbox ones in. Quite straightforward. This case is nice. You can just literally pop the plastic cover off, lift the panel up. Panel then comes off to the side. Stay there. And you're straight into it, so you can access the main components on this side. I'll show you the other side in a second. But down here you've got the 60 gig solid state, a 1 terabyte drive, and a 2 terabyte drive. So most of my recorded media will go onto this drive. The operating system and stuff will go on there, and there'll be backups between the two. Solid state drive, it's not big enough for me to record footage directly onto, so I tend to use that to hold the game, like the Origin game, Battlefield game, so that it starts up very quickly. So that's what I use it for. I'll switch this thing round now. Okay, so we were looking at the far side. This is the front. So here is a slot load for the DVD, and then this is the left-hand side of the computer where the there's an air intake here and also underneath. I'll show you that now. Basically, you can just pop this cover up and lift this panel off. Now, let me talk about this case. The power supply cable, the power supply is down the bottom, which is very unusual for a PC. They're normally at the top. But that means any heat that it generates, and any heat that's generated inside the computer, because heat rises, it all flows upwards naturally. So the heat goes naturally in that direction, where it's extracted by this very large fan at the top. Not only that, but all the cabling, just the one cable goes underneath. All of the other cabling comes in at the top. As you can see here, the network cabling, the USB, the DVI, everything comes in at the top, so it makes it ideal for under a desk, because you can literally route the cable straight up. Sorry for my my shaky handness here. I'm trying to hold this thing. This is an iPhone, by the way. We've got my camera, which has got, you know, shaky hand support on it, but we can't find the bleeding cables for it, so I'm having to use my iPhone to do this, so apologies for the sort of footage. But the cables, as you can see, come straight in from the desk trunking and into the top of the computer and keeps everything off the floor. If I just lean down underneath the computer itself, so you've got the power supply at the bottom, which is then got its the DVD drivers on top. You've got a fan dedicated to that giant heatsink. That's a Core i5 3.2 GHz CPU, overclocked up to about 3.8, 3.9, which is a nice stable overclocking. The Asus stuff, the software on it lets you perform automatic overclocking, so it'll just do a series of tests and then settle on a stable platform. So you don't get any blue screens, but you still manage to get more performance, which is quite nice. Down the side, you've got the graphics card. Again, that's a that's a NVIDIA 560 GTX. I thought about getting the 570 at the time, but there was quite a significant price jump between the two, and I spent the money instead, which I don't know if you can see those red things there. There are 4 of those, 4 GB fast memory. So this PC has 16 GB of RAM, all nice and quick, and an overclock processor and a fast card. That gives me, at 1920 by 1280, that gives me about 60 plus frames per second on high detail on BF3, which is pretty stonking. Certainly enough for my needs, and I can record at about 50 frames per second. My hard drive isn't the quickest in the world. If I got a faster hard drive, I might get a bit better performance, but you know, this was what I could afford on my budget. So yeah, that's a really nice case, a really nice design, and works really well underneath a desk, purely because of the case, the way the casing works and the wiring works. And you can also pop the panels off and really just get access to your PC very simply. Obviously the downside of it is you're limited in expansion terms compared to what you can do on a full-blown PC, because that's got a sort of micro ATX motherboard in there. So in terms of full-on expansion, you can't do as much, but other than that, it's pretty good, and I would recommend that case to anybody. The power switch and so on is up at the top here, so it's very easy to reset if you need to, and there's more USBs along the top. Very, very nice. So that's what's going on underneath here. That was a shredder, by the way, in case you don't know what that was. Let's pop back up on top. And so yeah, I've already mentioned we've got a PS3 and an Xbox here, so this is where I play. The MacBook Pro sits there, so that lets me use the internet, if you like, while I'm on my console. And this is where I game, this is where I do all my video editing. I got this 2 days ago. These are Roccat Kulo 7.1 surround sound headset. Very nice bit of kit. I had to do some research to get the right ones. One of the things I do like about this is the over-ear cups, so they don't completely close your ear and make you hot. And also, when you flick the microphone down, it activates, and when you push it up, it mutes, which is really handy when you're playing games. You can just, you know, the wife walks in, you can just lift that up and it'll mute what you're saying, which is very, very handy for me, and one of the reasons that I bought it, apart from it being made from very high quality components. So yeah, that's my friend's Hopage HD PVR. Mine's underneath, allows us to do dual recording if you want to. This is obviously my computer, you can see Battlelog there. That's where I do my video editing, After Effects, all that kind of stuff. Things of interest, probably this cupboard here is the most interesting. The reason being, it's my naughty cupboard. Here we go, look, it's always full. It's full of bags of crisps and M&Ms, which are my favourite. M&Ms and Coke, one of those combos in life that are just superb. But yeah, that's always full, within easy reach if I get hungry while I'm gaming, and I can just grab a drink out of there. I've always got, if I just come down to this one, this is usually full with bottles of Coke and stuff, which I just move up into the fridge so that I've always got something to eat and drink when I'm playing. Other than that, I've got cables, network cables and stuff. It's all nicely filed away. And batteries. You can never have too many batteries when you've got kids. So this lot here, I buy them in bulk off the internet and store them up, and we go through them over the course of a year. Magazines, yeah, I've taken you through most of it now, I think. I've been threatening to do this for a while, but I had to tidy up first and find a camera. I ended up using my iPhone, as I said. But yeah, it's quite nice. Game environment. It took me a while to design this. It took about 3 or 4 weeks for the builders to finish converting it, and I had to paint it all up and yeah, just put it all up to my specifications. But I'm quite happy with the result. It's a kind of ideal games room really, because it's all detached from the house. It also means the kids can come in here if they need to, do any revision, any homework, that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you've seen my gaming rig. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Other than that, this is Squirrel signing off. Take care guys, and I'll see you soon.